One of the other things we often see in times like this are references to Black Monday, the 1929 Wall Street crash. Couple of things to note. First of all, this actually came about in part because of tariffs. In the 1920s, Herbert Hoover, not to be confused with J. Edgar Hoover, the FBI director, they increased tariffs, the Republicans, and that led to isolationism and higher prices, which was a contributor to the 1929 Wall Street crash. But it wasn't the main one. The main contributor was excessive speculation in the Roaring Twenties. Ultimately, the Dow Jones fell by about 90%, and it led to the Great Depression, where a third of workers lost their jobs and there was widespread homelessness. Even people who kept their money in cash often lost it because the banks failed. And the Great Depression didn't end until the Second World War. When Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, people were forced into the military for jobs, and that built the economy again, the military-industrial complex. Now, 1929 is unlikely to happen again. First of all, because investors don't invest in the same way now. Before modern portfolio theory, investors often had short-term trading, whereas nowadays it's more about long-term diversification. The other thing is that the Federal Reserve didn't have the same levers as they do today. After 1929, they first of all tightened monetary policy, which is the opposite of what they do nowadays to mitigate against further disaster. The other point to say is that back then they had the gold standard. They could only print money out in accordance with the amount of gold that they actually had in the country, whereas now they can print more quantitative easing to pump into the market in times of distress. So it's very unlikely we'll see another 1929. And the other thing is that tariffs were not the key contributor. They were a contributor. The key contributor was excessive speculation